Hey divas, how y'all doing? How is everybody doing? Welcome to Pink Table Topics. Before we get started, you know how I do. Can you please put a 1 in the chat and let me know that you can hear me okay? Put a 1 in the chat for me, please. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Good evening. Good evening. Happy Tuesday. If you can hear me, please put a 1 in the chat for me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, Deborah and Angela. I see that you ladies can hear me. Happy Tuesday. Thank you so much for coming to Pink Table Topics. I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you so much for rocking with me. I'm your host, your good sis, Pink Diva. You know, I appreciate you all pulling your seat up to the table for me. Don't forget to hit that like button for me if you didn't do so already. Feel free to drop down and leave a comment. Also, engage with the topic and hit the bell notification so that you'll be notified each and every time I drop a new topic. As you know, our mission over here is to create a safe space for women to gather as a community, engage in healthy dialogue regarding real life issues that we as women deal with on a daily basis, and to foster the true meaning of sisterhood. And if you are here, that means you are subscribed and representing the Diva tribe. And not just any diva. What do we stand for, you all? We are divine, inspiring, valiant, and admirable. Welcome to the table, divas. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Y'all know I got to kick it off with our motivational quote of the day. And our quote of the day is, I am thankful for my struggle because without it, I wouldn't have stumbled across my strength. Let me say that one more time. I am thankful for my struggle because without it, I wouldn't have stumbled across my strength. Is that not a whole word? That's a whole word. Let me scroll up and go around the table and do my Divas roll call so I can speak to everybody that is here. My good sis, Linda Gamble. Good evening, sis. How are you? Thank you so much for being here. Teresa Wright. Hey, sis. You know, I appreciate you pulling up to the table. Thank you so much for being here, my good sis, Tanya B. Hey, sis. Thank you so much for joining me. Deborah Jackson, good evening to you. Thank you so much for pulling up to the table. My good sis, Angela Richardson, how you doing? Thank you so much for joining us. I really do appreciate you for being here. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you, ladies. Real Talk with Grace and Mercy. Hey, sis. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate you being here. Thanks for pulling up to the table. Don't forget to make sure you hit the like button for me, ladies. I really appreciate you being here. How is everybody doing? How was your weekend? Did everybody have a good weekend? It is Tuesday. We have one more day left in the month of July, and we will be in the month of August. Oh my goodness, where did time go? Oh my goodness, let me tell y'all. Some of you know, you have heard me say this before. My baby girl is getting married. She'll be getting married August 23rd. And you know, that is right around the corner. And let me just tell you, this past Friday, we went to pick up her wedding dress. So we went to pick up her wedding dress, do the final fitting and do pick up her wedding dress. And oh my goodness, y'all, I tried my best to hold it together as best as I possibly can. But my baby girl was so pretty in her wedding gown. I am so excited for her. And oh my goodness, I am just so excited about her. Finally, you know, getting to this stage is August. So we only have a couple weeks left and she will be walking down that aisle. Teresa Wright said August is her anniversary and birthday month. Okay, sis. My best friend's birthday is August 3rd, which is this coming Saturday. And my brother's birthday is August 22nd. So I have some August birthdays in the family as well. Hey, sis. My sis Chit Chat was here. Hey, sis. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much. I'll make sure I tell her congratulations. She's excited. I'm excited. Child, we just ready to get her down the aisle. You hear me? And the thing about it is, we also have a wedding to do for a client the week before her wedding. So when I say my month of August is completely booked, we have 5 Saturdays in the month of August, and I am completely booked the entire month of August. But I'm not complaining because that's good trouble. I am not complaining. So thank you, ladies, so much for pulling up to the table. Thank you so much for the congratulations. I'll make sure I tell her that everyone sent their congratulatory messages to her. Um, Angela Richardson said, Amen, sis. Thank you for that word. Thank you so much. Listen, before we get into our topic, these social media streets have been on fire. I know, listen, I know the majority of us was at Sis's panel over at her power hour earlier and talking about the whole Stormy Steele situation with her COO, Kyle. Oh my goodness. And I actually peeped over on his Instagram page and was able to read some of the comments. Let me tell you, they are going in over there. Do you hear me? They are going in. And I'm so, I hate that this is happening to her. But however, you can't just do bad business with people and then expect to get praises for it, right? So, I hate, let's be clear, said that she's spectacious until 9 p.m. Don't be being spectacious, sis, but thank you for listening in. Teresa Rice says, woo, child, in my chit chest voice. Yes, ma'am. Isn't the streets hot, sis? Oh, my goodness. I was over there and I see that he's responding to some of the comments. And, it's sad. It's unfortunate that, that situation is what it is. I hate that he's going through this, but I appreciate him for being bold enough to, speak his truth. And I'm excited to see what the end result is going to be. We nosy. We want to know how it's going to pop off. So I'm looking forward and seeing how this pans out for him. But when you're doing business with people, there's just a right and a wrong way to do things, and you can't do people wrong and then expect there to be good karma returned to you. And if you are a business owner, I'm a business owner myself. And, I'm also a certified business coach. And I tell my clients all the time, it's important to make sure you are following business 101. You have to make sure that you are hands on in every aspect of your business. You need to make sure you have an accountant and anybody that you have in place, from the warehouse workers to the person that you have answering the phones. You need to be hands on with every process and procedure that is set in place, because listen, if you're not keeping up with what's going on in your business, things happen. You lose control and things happen. Things are going on behind the scenes that you're not privy of. So you need to make sure that you are, you got your hands on with your business and making sure you're doing things by the book. Because one thing about it, the IRS don't play when it comes to them getting their money. So you need to make sure you're doing things by the book. Sis said Kyle will get paid if Stormy is smart. I agree, sis. I agree. But, we'll see how that turns out. It's unfortunate, but hey, he spoke his truth and we are here for it. We are here for it. And I also saw, I was reading one of the comments under his post, and for whatever reason, people keep trying to pull Mel into this. And I'm so glad that Mel is minding the business that pays her and she's staying out of this. She's not getting involved. But we all know, regardless of what's going on, they will always find a way to pull Mel into this drama. So, I get that you have your comments on what's going on, and you may rock with Stormy or may not rock with Stormy, but this is Stormy's fight. This is her battle. Let her duke it out with Kyle the way they decide to do it, but let's keep Mel out of it. Her hands are clean when it comes to this mess, but we know how people are. They always find a way to pull mail some kind of way, and especially with the way that Stormy is getting drugged in these streets. I wouldn't be surprised if it pops up and say, well, why didn't Mel say something, or why didn't Mel tell her people to back off? She always get blamed for everything, but we'll see. Teresa Wright says Kyle will get paid if she's not, because he's going to sue her tail. I know that's right. I know that's right. Angela Richardson says, I don't understand why people always put Mel in the middle. I totally agree. That was my thoughts too. I was reading the comments and I'm like, why are people tagging Mel under this post? It has absolutely nothing to do with her. This isn't anything regarding Seventh Avenue Beauty. So why are you bringing Mel into Stormy's legal issues? Because that's exactly what it's about to be. It's about to be a legal issue. So let them fight their own battle and stop dragging Mel in the midst of it. So we'll see. We'll see. I know sis will keep us up to date. I'll be in these YouTube streets and social media streets reading up on what's going on. I'm quite sure there are a lot of content creators that are talking about the situation, and we'll see how it pans out. We'll see. It'll be unfortunate that, she hit this big million, twice over on TikTok, and then for her to actually possibly lose it all. And the Bible says money is the root of all evil. And sometimes we can get a little bit above ourselves and start thinking that we're better than, and start moving a different way, and we're not thinking and letting the money do all the talk for us. And as fast as you get it, you can lose it just as fast. So the whole thing is, you should be humble enough to know where you started from, and humble enough to know everything that you went through. You can lose it just as fast as you got it. Teresa says they put Mel in everything. And what Aunt Debbie's song say, she don't give a right. That's Aunt Debbie's song. Exactly, sis. They put Mel in everything. She has absolutely nothing to do with what's going on. But they keep her in it. Sis said, yes, Mel should be separated from the drama. The less for her, the better. Absolutely. Mel has her own thing going on over there. She's doing her own thing. She's doing amazing things. And Canvas Beauty is not affiliated with Seventh Avenue Beauty whatsoever. So they should definitely make sure that they are keeping those topics separate. Let Stormy fight her battle. It's up to her and her team to mitigate what's going on between she and Kyle. So we'll leave that at that. Angela Richardson said allegedly she been spending all that money. That's what I heard, sis. That's exactly what I heard. We'll see, because eventually she's going to have to show that paper trail. She has to show those books, and all of that money has to be accounted for. Teresa Wright said, and Mel doing her TikTok by herself with her staff. Absolutely. She's doing her thing over there. A lot of people always try to criticize Mel and say that, she's doing what she's doing in her basement at her home. But as a business owner, let me tell you something. That's the best way to do it. And we all had to start somewhere. Steve Jobs started in his garage. So we all start somewhere. I started in my home, and I'm not ashamed about that, because I didn't have to worry about all of that overhead that is affiliated with having these huge warehouses and all of these employees that you have to pay for. So I applaud her for that. Sound check Annette. Hey sis, thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for pulling up to the table. Make sure you hit the like button for me, please. Sis said Kyle want those books. Yes, child. Kyle want those books. Thank you so much. Sis said, hello again, divas. Please hit the like button, click the notification bell, and share the video with your friends. Thank you, sis. Yes, yes, yes. Please share. Please hit the like button. So we'll see, child. We're going to move on to our topic. We'll be talking more about that, I'm sure. As you saw on the thumbnail, we have a great topic today. The topic is when your best isn't good enough for the wrong man. When your best isn't good enough for the wrong man. Now, I ran across this post a while ago, and I held on to it because I knew eventually we would talk about it. But I ran across this post. There was this lady that was dealing with a husband that cheated on her. And I'm quite sure, somewhere throughout our lifespan, be it someone we were dating, when we were younger, or, in our young adult life, and some maybe when we're married, have experienced cheating at some point on some level, right? Um, so I feel that this is a subject that we are all privy to or know someone that has dealt with cheating. So the post read, I cooked when I was asked. I cleaned up dirty drawers and dishes. I was supportive. I was patient. I was nurturing. I was submissive. I listened. I came when he called me. I asked no questions. I was sexual and never denied or deprived him. I was driven. I was goal oriented. I was beautiful. I always encouraged him. I was loving. I was understanding. I was forgiving. I was his ear to listen. I was his shoulder to lean on. I was a motivator. I believed in him. I was a fighter. I was multidimensional. I was adventurous. I was thoughtful. I was loyal. And I would lay down and take a bullet. I would sacrifice myself, my body, my mind, and for love, because I was human. I was a friend. I was a lover. I was a woman, not just any woman, but a good woman. But yet and still, I was not enough for the wrong man. Do you hear me? I was enough. I was more than enough. But I was all that for the wrong man. It did not matter what I did, how I did it. It was for the wrong man. So you may be a rib, but a rib can't fit comfortably into a body it's not designed for. Let me say that again. You may be a rib, but a rib cannot fit comfortably into a body that it was not designed for. Was that not a word? Was that not a whole word? We can do all of those things. We can be all of those things. And still, it's not good enough for the wrong man. Teresa Wright said, oh, wow, that's a profound word. Absolutely. A profound word. Sis said he still cheated, and he still cheated. You can do any and everything that you put your mind to. You can be submissive. You can be present. You can be all of those things. You can take it. And we know us as women, we wear a lot of hats already, right? And just based off what she was saying, she did a lot within her relationship, within her marriage. She did all of this. So not only are we as women being nurturers to the children, we're working 9 to 5. Some of us are working and running businesses. We are caring for children, some of us small children. We are attending PTA meetings. We're attending extracurricular activities that the children have. And not only are we doing all of that, maintaining and holding the house down, we are cooking, we're cleaning, we're being present, we're showing up for our men, and we're also being supportive, and we're being counselors, and we're being shoulders, and all of this for the man in our life, but yet it can still be for the wrong man. So basically what she's saying is it does not matter how submissive you are, how good you are, or how bad, it still won't keep a man that's not wanting to be kept. Hey, Aunt Debbie, thank you so much for pulling up to the table. Thank you for joining us. We were looking for you today, Aunt Debbie. I was over there in your chat, and I happened to look up and see that you changed your date. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll definitely be joining you tomorrow. Sis said the wrong man. Yes, the wrong man. So it doesn't matter. And we invest so much time, so much attention into maintaining our relationships. And we all know, like, let's keep it real. As women, we could cheat if we want to. You know, we could do all of those things the men do if we want to, but most of us are emotionally driven. And a lot of us went, and now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that men are the only ones that cheat, because I know some women who have cheated on some good men. So I'm not saying that. But tonight we're talking about being not being enough for the wrong man. But women cheat too. I get that. But I have seen where you can be and do anything that you want to do or that he requires of you, but it's still not good enough. You know, and the one thing that I hate that we do as women, and I think it's just a female thing, but when we go through things as traumatic as having a spouse that is cheating on us, you know, why is it that we always second guess ourselves? Why is it the first thing we do is feel that we did something to make this man behave the way he behaved? We always look at ourselves and say, well, was I not good enough? Or did I do too much nagging? You know, maybe I should have did this or not did that. You know, we always second guess ourselves. We always want to know, what did I do? And it's important for us to understand that, for one, there are many, many, many reasons why men cheat on good women. And it's important for us to understand that, you know what, we can do all of this stuff, but it's a personal decision that he himself made to cheat. And it has absolutely nothing to do with us. We didn't make him do it, he chose to do it. It's a personal decision. I don't understand people who, you know, and unfortunately, we do have people who will come to you and say, well, what did you do? Or what did you not do that caused him to cheat? There's nothing that you could do and nothing that you could say that would make a man step out and cheat. A man will step out and cheat because that's what's in him, that's who he is. And if that's what he wants to do, that's exactly what he's going to do. And I was reading when I was studying on this topic and wanted to read up on some examples about what could possibly make a man cheat. And some of the things that I saw a lot of was they're unhappy. They may be unhappy in their current situation. It's an ego thing. It's a lack of an emotional connection. They may be craving something that they're not getting from their spouse. It's a lack of commitment. They may have trouble fully committing. And some of them, it's a thrill. They may find cheating exciting. They do it long enough to see how long they can get away with it. And then it could be that they are bored with their current spouse. It could be a trauma that they may have experienced, or something from a past relationship. Or it could be them growing up and having a history of having a parent who cheated on the other parent. So it could also be jealousy and intimidation. Now that is real. Having a spouse who is jealous and intimidated by you and what you bring to the table will actually be a factor in causing them to cheat, because they want to find someone that they feel they could dominate. You know, if you know you are a strong, empowered woman, it's hard for a guy to feel his best, I would say, to someone like that if he feel that he's lacking in some area. So they tend to be drawn by women they feel they can overpower, or women that they could intimidate, be it, you know, their social status or whatever the case may be. And they want more than one woman. Some men just are not satisfied with just having more than one woman. And I've seen that. I've seen men who just are not satisfied, because I'll be on the outside looking in, and I'm looking at this lady and I'm like, she's the bomb. Like, she is a great mother. She's a good wife. But then you'll see him out in the street with multiple women, and you're looking like, when you have a great woman at home, what makes you interested in still having multiple women? Sis said, or it could be that they just aren't ish in their, absolutely. They just aren't ish. I agree, sis. Teresa says some of them have low self-esteem issues themselves. That's exactly right. And a lot of them come with baggage. A lot of them come into relationships with a lot of baggage, and by us being nurturers by nature, we tend to tackle on all of this baggage that they have. And what we got to realize, we're not licensed therapists. I know I'm not. And, it becomes heavy when you always have to reiterate to him, like, I love you. You are amazing. You can do anything you put your mind to, or I got us. And, it's us against the world. And we're constantly trying to build them up. And, eventually, if I'm finding myself constantly trying to build him up, who's going to hold me when I fall? It's got to be a two-way street. And we put a lot of time and attention into building these men up. And I often wonder, like, why don't you already come at a space to where you can love me the way that I can love you, or you can properly, nurture me the way I'm nurturing you? Like, why can't it be a little bit of give and take? Why am I the only one feeling like I'm just giving, giving, giving? Girlfriend Chronicles, hey sis, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you for being here. Sis said, yes, some feel less than with strong women. Yes, they do. And I often wondered, why? Because I feel like in my mind, if we are together, that means we are together. We're one. And what I'm doing for me, I'm also doing for us. I'm doing for our household. So it's not me against you, but I don't know why sometimes they make us feel like it's a competitive thing. It's like you're competing with me, but I'm your wife. We're supposed to be in this together, and it's not supposed to be me against you or you against me. We're supposed to be in this together. And I don't understand why, a lot of men make us feel that way. But I have a question. Why do we as women blame ourselves for the cheating spouse? And I'm asking to all the divas in the chat, why is it that we as women tend to blame ourselves for the cheating spouse? And I know I've been guilty of that myself years ago. I have not personally experienced infidelity in my marriage, but when I was dating back in the days, when I was dating and had little boyfriends, I did experience that. And but again, I always had my own. It was my place. I always had my own vehicles, had two cars at the time, had my own vehicles, had my own house. And and he cheated with a little girl that he was working with. And the thing about what I've learned about most men are, when they cheat, it's like they don't know how to hide it. They get sloppy, their demeanor changes, their routine changes, everything about them tends to change. Now you're going to work wearing your good cologne, and you never used to wear your good cologne. Now you're putting on your Timberland boots, and you never used to wear your Timberland boots to work. And now you're putting on your good clothes, or you're coming in late. Now all of a sudden, you're not coming home on time. You're not being responsive on your phone. And, they don't understand that their whole demeanor starts to change when they start cheating. And it's easy to pick up on the fact that they're cheating. Sis said, I've done that before. I think they want to retain your relationship, caused me the want to retain the relationship, caused me to blame myself, young and dumb. I get that too, sis. I've been there too. I think that's what it is. We tend to want to feel like, obviously, if he cheated on me, I had to have done something. Maybe I was nagging too much. But what I had to remind myself is, a lot of times we're not nagging. It's really, I'm trying to hold you accountable for things that you really just aren't doing. And a lot of men, when you attempt to hold them accountable, they'll start to label you as nagging. That's only because they don't want to hear what you have to say. They don't want to hear the truth. I'm not nagging if I'm asking you, why haven't you been to work for the last 3 days and you know we have bills to pay? I'm not nagging you if I'm coming in and saying, why don't you have, your half of the bill money? I'm not nagging you if I come in and say, why is it that, every time I walk in the door, you're on the video game, the kids are crying, you haven't fed the kids. To me, that's not nagging. I'm asking you, why haven't you done these things? Because, that could help me. That could help me. Um, let's see. Let me go through some comments. Teresa said exactly, chit chat. Girlfriend Chronicle said, been there, done that. Learned it was me wanting to know what was it about me that wasn't good enough or was something I needed to do. All to find out he was an opportunity. I agree. I've had one of those too. I had one of those too. And what I found was, you may be a good wife, but are you the person that he needs? And that's the thing. Sometimes we find ourselves in these relationships and we're too good for the person that, we're with. I knew somebody who said, I was a great wife, kept a beautiful home, made sure I didn't deprive him sexually, took care of herself, made sure she cooked, cleaned, did all of that stuff. Thought they had the perfect marriage, big, beautiful house, white picket fence, great kids, the hardworking husband. And she actually, felt that they had, the perfect marriage. Well, we know no marriage is perfect, but they thought they had a great relationship within their marriage. And she was basically living in this bubble of illusion. And what made her bust that bubble was he had an affair. And again, here she said, I'm doing everything in the house, taking care of the kids. He and I were traveling, doing what we needed to do. And she found that they had been drifting apart because they were spending more time tending to the kids. And looking back on it, she realized that they really didn't have a relationship between the two of them. What they shared was all wrapped up within their kids and the stuff that they were doing as a family. So she said they went to counseling. He begged her to work it out, said he loved her and all of the usual stuff, and said that he would attempt to work on it and try to spice up things in the relationship. And she just never knew that they had any major issues. And she found out that he was yet still cheating with the same person she caught him cheating with a few years back. So, you can sweet talk your way back and say, you know what, I'm not going to do it again, only to find out you are still cheating with the person that you were cheating with. And I forgive you. And then here we are again. Teresa says, anytime a woman speak, a man says she's nagging. It's so ridiculous. That's right, sis. And I think that they just don't want to hear what we have to say. I think that's what it is. Hey, sis, Deshonda, thanks for joining me, sis. How you doing? Thanks for joining. Sis said, I'm not the bend over backwards type gal. I'm not either. But I learned back in the day, it kind of seems like our grandparents, I know mine, the grandparents and the women in my life tend to always somewhat groom us as girls to be the perfect wife. I grew up hearing, my grandmother would make comments like, well, you better learn how to cook because want a man there won't no man want you if you don't know how to cook. You better keep your house clean because won't no man want you if you're nasty and you don't know how to keep your house clean. And I heard that so much. So it's almost like they were training us to be wives. They were training us, make sure you know how to cook, make sure you're clean, make sure you take care of your appearance. Even if I was groomed to where even if I was just running around the corner to the corner store, you get dressed and you look presentable. Don't just go out of the house looking any kind of way. And I never heard those conversations being had with my brother saying, well, make sure you know how to cook so you can get a good wife, or make sure you know how to clean in case your wife don't know how to clean, or I never heard those conversations being mentioned to my brother. However, he knows how to do that because, my parents did teach him. You learn how to cook and you learn how to clean, because you may get a wife that don't know how to do either, but at least you'll know how to do it for yourself. Angela said, cheat on me once, I will forgive you. Cheat on me a second time, I'm done. That's actually one of my questions, sis. Teresa said, exactly. All the older women in my life said the same thing. Why is that? Why is that? Tanya said, and they should tell young men that. I agree. I definitely agree. And I can't say my parents did teach that to my brother. And y'all know I have OCD, but my brother is just like me. We are neat freaks. And he has, he had glass tables all over his house at one point. He would walk around the house with Windex and a towel in his back pocket looking for fingerprints. That's just how OCD he was. So he learned how to cook, how to clean, and just how to care for the house just in case. And I think men need to do it because it's not a gender role. Everybody needs to do it. What if your spouse gets sick? Sis said, right. They definitely put it in our head early on. They sure did. They put a lot of stuff in our head early on. And I always wonder, how did the boys go by the wayside? And my question was, I have another question. And this is if you have experienced infidelity. So if you experienced infidelity, or if you happen to experience infidelity, would you stay? Is it a one and done, or once a cheater, always a cheater? What's your personal thought? Put it in the chat. Will you stay? Will you work it out, give it another chance? Or is cheating a total no for you? Deshonda said, I tell all my cousins, male and female, to know how to cook, clean, change the oil and tires, because you might not have a significant other to do it for you. I agree, sis. And you know what? And my dad taught me all of those things. My dad taught me how to change the oil in my car. He taught me how to change a flat tire. He taught me how to put the windshield wiper fluid in my car. He taught me how to check the battery. So he taught me all of those handy things, to help me maneuver adulthood and not have to, depend on a man to do it for me. Girlfriend Chronicles said that she's teaching her grandsons house chores while visiting. That's a great thing to do, sis. Keep up the good work, because they definitely need to know. Sis said, I stayed and I wish I didn't. And I think that that's one of the things that I think that we'll end up having regrets if we stay, because, if you stay, decide to work it out, what are the chances of them actually not repeating that same offense, right? Girlfriend Chronicle said, at my big wisdom age, I will not ever stay with the cheater. I feel you. I feel you. Teresa said, I gave my ex-husband a chance, but that low down dirty dog continued. So it was a wrap, and he made it bad for my good. He made it bad for my good man, who I will be married to for 30 years on August the 6th. Congratulations, sis, on your upcoming 30th anniversary. That is beautiful. Congratulations. I know it tend to that baggage tend to sometimes follow us into another relationship if we haven't done the work to make sure we lose that baggage before going into another relationship. That's why I think it's so important for us to take the time for ourselves to relearn ourselves over again before jumping into another relationship, from one to the next, because we will carry baggage into the next relationship, and we don't want to run off somebody that could possibly be the best thing that ever came into our lives. So it's important that we go to therapy, do the work that we need to do, or what have you, to make sure that we are ready to take on the new relationship without bringing in things that we may have had, in the previous relationship. Deshonda said, when I have experienced infidelity, I get the heck the first time. I'm not forgiving at all when it comes to cheating. go be with whoever you cheated with or not, but you're not going to be with me. I get it, sis. I totally get it, Deshonda, and I'm with you too, because to me that's an out. And for one, I'm saying that honestly because me knowing me, I don't think I can get over the fact that you cheated on me. And I feel like if you stay, you should have a real good conversation with yourself and make sure that you have forgiven this person, you forgiving yourself, and that you are not going to wake up every day and have these thoughts in your mind about, is he still cheating? I wonder if he's with another chick, he's late coming home, or whatever the case may be. I feel like if you stay, you need to be ready to put in the work, because after the infidelity has taken place and you agree to stay, that's when the real work comes. But can you withstand it? Like, will you wake up and, maybe something he do or the way he's moving may trigger something in you? Will you continue to bring it up? Because I feel like if you decide to stay, you need to dead the conversation. Have that conversation one time, say, yeah, we're going to work on this relationship and we're going to move forward, and dead it. I don't think you should bring it up every day. Every time you turn around, you're bringing it up or you accusing him of doing something, because then I don't feel like you actually forgave him. So Angela said, I stayed once before and I regretted it, but when I left, I didn't look back. I agree. I agree. Give them one chance and keep it moving. And sometimes the thing about it is you can give them another chance and they'll still turn around and do the same thing. An example, Martell Hope, right? Sis said, right. If you stay, most times it'll play with your mental, questioning everything. Let's be clear said, remember the draws with the flames on them from your live, right? I think she's talking to you, sis. Um, yeah, she did. She said she had a flashback. I agree, you all. So I think it's just hard to mentally be able to move on, because you'll always be wondering if he's still cheating. So I think it takes a lot on your mental. My next question for everybody: do you believe in the saying, once a cheater, always a cheater? Or do you think it's possible for them to turn the other cheek, turn on a new leaf? Once a cheater, always a cheater. I know a lot of people say that, once he cheat one time, he'll always cheat if you take him back. Do you think that's a thing? S. Horton said, totally agree, have to move on. Girlfriend Chronicle said, if you stay, it's best not to tell anyone because they will not forgive him like you did. That's very true, especially our friends and family. If you come and tell me that he's done something to you or mistreated you in any kind of way, and then you go home and forgive him, we'll always be looking upside his head with the side eye, child, because we'll only remember the things that you said he did to you. So I don't know if we'll be able to forgive him. Girlfriend Chronicles also said men can't accept women cheating, but expect us to do. You know what? They can never take what they dish out. They can never take what they dish out. Never take what they dish out. And I experienced this situation with one of my best friends. I think I shared this story on Members Only over on Sis's channel. Her husband was cheating on her with another chick in town, and he had actually moved out of the house, the marital home that they shared, for exactly 30 days, moved into the home with this chick. She served him divorce papers, of course, and they shared 2 children, and she was actually approved to receive child support for both of them. So when he received the letter for child support, that's when he decided that he wanted to come home. Now, mind you, he had been living with another chick in the house with her and her child, playing daddy to her child for 30 days. But once he was served those divorce papers and saw that she was going to be awarded child support, he decided that he wanted to come back. And of course, while he was gone, she basically was having a texting conversation with another dude, right? Mind you, he was at work always talking about how he had other women coming to see him on his lunch break at work. And, and you have to be careful who you're sharing your business with, because that very person you're sharing your business with see that you have a good person at home, and the next thing you know, they're slipping in the back door. So this kind of was that situation. He was big and brave and had, other women bringing him lunch on the job. And he was bragging about how he had a good wife and she wasn't going anywhere because all she did was go to work and stay home with the kids. And, one of the guys worked right beside him at work and knew he was doing all of these things. And the next thing you know, he slid in the DMs, and they started having like a verbal text exchange, because they were in the same city, right? And when he came home, let me tell you, out of all the things that he did to her, he ended up going through her phone when she was in the shower. See, this is what a guilty conscience would do for you. He knew what he was doing, so he assumed she was doing the same thing. So he started going through her phone. Mind you, they were separated for 30 days. And I think if we separated and you have actually picked up and moved in with another woman, it's fair game, right? It's fair game. Yes, we are still on paper. I know that's considered cheating because you're still married. However, you moved into the house with another lady, living with her. So, am I not supposed to have a conversation or entertain anyone else? Because to me, I filed for divorce. You were served the papers. You're living outside of the house. So, I feel like it's fair game, right? He went through her phone and saw a conversation that she and the guy was having. But it was a simple exchange. He just said, "Hey, just checking on you, and I miss you." And her response was, "I miss you too." Let me tell you something. He went ballistic. Do you hear me? So, Teresa, sis, when you said they can't take what they dish out, he could not take what he dished out, because let me tell you what it did. He changed his behavior. He would not leave the house and go anywhere. Let me tell you, this was somebody who was always at the club. He was always having another woman around town somewhere. But when he saw that brief text message, it was like he did a complete turnaround. He became so insecure, and it's almost like something went off in his head, thinking like, all of these times that I've been stepping out, maybe she had somebody stepping in, right? So he didn't think anybody else would be interested in her, because all she did was go to work and go home. So how was someone accessing her? Because she didn't go anywhere. But he didn't think about the people that was on his job listening to him brag about the things that he was doing to his wife. So he thought nobody else wanted her, and he was surprised when he saw that somebody else wanted her. She could not get rid of him. When I say he started clocking every time she went to work, he was driving by her job to make sure she was at work. He was just popping up. He was checking her phone like every day she came home from work. He asking her who she's been talking to. Let me see your phone. Going through the phone, making sure that nobody was texting her. If she was at her mama's house, he'll drive by to make sure she was at. Listen, he got so paranoid. So when we say that they can't take what they dish out, they cannot take what they dish out. Let me go read some comments. Teresa said, "I think it's possible for them to stop, but the woman would never fully trust them again." I agree too, sis. And then so I have to ask, if we know that we won't be able to fully trust again, why do we put ourselves through that? Because I know I wouldn't. I know I wouldn't be able to trust you. So my thing is, we may as well just go ahead and go our separate ways, because I know I won't ever fully trust you. Don't you think that's us, like we're cheating ourselves because we're staying in a relationship and we know we won't be able to fully trust them? Deshonda said all things are possible with God, and that's the only way they'll stop cheating, with God's help. Very true. But God, right? Sis said, I think it could be possible if the other party really wants to change. But if they promise not to cheat again, only to keep you, they'll cheat again. And I think a lot of it is, and now don't get me wrong, I have seen situations where there was infidelity in the relationship and the couple worked it out. They worked through their differences and they're still together. So I do believe that there are people who totally realized what it was that they were losing and chose to not lose the family that they had over the side chick, right? And they decided to stay and make it work. So I do believe that it's possible, but it has to be a mindset change and it has to be something they want to do and not you trying to force them to do it. As Horton says, it has to be a personal something you want to do. The individual has to absolutely says they have to want change. Let's be clear, said, in my younger days, I would forgive you. I would forgive you once, but now in my 50s, I'm not that forgiving. I agree, sis, because I think at this big age that we are, it's time out for games. Like who's going through that at this big age, right? Cinnamon Swirl. Hi, sis. Thank you so much for joining Pink Table Topics. Please make sure you hit the like button. We appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for joining us. Deshonda said, once that sucker left, he could never come back. You hard, sis. You are hard, sis. Girlfriend Chronicle says he felt nobody else would want her. Absolutely. That's exactly what it is. He felt nobody would want her. Kimberly Anthony, hey sis, thanks for joining. How you doing? Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you for being here. Hey Mama V, how are you, sis? Thanks for joining us. Tanya B said, when you have to ride by somewhere to see if they really are where they said they'd be, even if he's doing the drive-bys after he cheated, he doesn't trust that she's not doing what he did. Absolutely. And I think that's what it is. They are fearful of the get back. They know that I did it. So now that I know she's capable of doing it, let me just make sure she didn't. Because when I say he made her life a living hell after he saw that text message, let me tell you, it was as if he never done anything. It's like he overlooked all the things that he had done and he was strictly focused on that little text message that he saw. Tanya also said, and if the trust isn't there, I don't care if you stay 60 years, it's not good. I agree. I agree. How much can you actually build if you don't have trust, right? Teresa said, and that's a good question. Why do the men think nobody else would want the same woman they chose? Good question. Why don't they? Let's be clear, said, going back to the younger me, once a cheater, always a cheater. Okay, I think I read that one. Me in my 50s, I would hope they have matured and changed. Yes, I totally agree. Cinnamon Swirl says, my soon to be ex husband tried it. He can't come back. Now I'm fighting to get him to sign them papers. I'm done. Sis, congratulations on you for choosing you. Um, Good for you. Because the thing about it is, why is it that they wait until they've lost it all and then want to come back? Like we've been that good wife, we've been that perfect partner. We've done all that we know to do in the household, and you still decided to step out. So when I'm done, now it's all of a sudden, now can we talk? Now they calling 50 times a day. Now they want to make the relationship work. Why didn't you see that or want to make it work when you had the opportunity and we're in the same household? I am blessed pecan Pam. Hey sis, thank you so much for jumping in and coming and joining us over here today. We appreciate you. Tanya B said, I have an answer, Teresa, because their woman is so good that they think they got them. I agree. I totally agree. And my next question is, since we're on the lines of the whole cheating and the side chick thing, do you think the other woman is to blame? Now, let's keep in mind, A lot of these Negroes be out here lying about what they have going on at home. So every person that's a side chick doesn't necessarily know that he has another woman at home. So is the woman to blame, or who holds the loyalty? Who holds the loyalty? Girlfriend Chronicle said, "Oh, I got a story for y'all about through sickness and in health." We can't wait to hear it. I'm gonna drop the link in a second, sis, for sure. Lady Sweetness to you. Hey, sis. Thank you for joining us. How you doing? She says she's driving. Okay, be careful driving. Thank you so much for thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. Mama V says, "No, I don't blame the woman until she comes for the wife." I totally agree. Don't blame her until she comes for the wife, because at this point, you shouldn't even say anything to the wife, whether you knew about the wife or not. It's not your place to address the wife on any level, because you were sleeping with her man. So there's absolutely nothing that you can say to the wife, period. Deshonda said, blame the man first. Absolutely. Blame the man first, because that's who you are married to. So that's where the loyalty lies. Sis said, if they know, they are partly to blame. If they try to cause issues with the wife, they are to blame. But he is the one that's married. The obligations and expectations should be on him. I totally agree. I totally agree. Girlfriend Chronicle said, if she knows, yes. Once she finds out, yes. If she never knows, no, especially since he lied. That's very true. But how often is it that the side chick don't know that you're married? We are, as women, we are true investigators at heart. And if we want to know something, we are going to dig until we find out. So to me, unless he's living in a totally different state, I find it very hard to believe that a side chick does not know that this person is or married or messing around with somebody else. I just find that hard to believe. Teresa says, I blame the man first, but don't get it twisted. Them heifers know. Yes, sis, they know. When you can't call a man or go see him, you know he's unavailable. That's absolutely right. They know. They know. Cinnamon Swirl says, nope, blame belongs to the spouse. Yep, I agree, sis. Deborah Jackson says, no, not at all, because man tells so many lies. Yes, that's very true. They lie. They lie. But again, as women, I think we need to do a little bit more research, especially if we're in the same city. I kind of find it hard to believe that we wouldn't know, because, people talk and you never know who knows who. And, if you're paying attention to his behavior, and if he's never wanting to go out in public with you, he only answers his phone during certain times. Every holiday he has an excuse as to why you can't spend time with him, or why he hasn't introduced you to his family. Those are some red flags. Those are some red flags. Sis says, same city or not, fly me into your sis trying to get flued out. Teresa says, can't take no pictures. Exactly. Don't want you posting them on social media. Like, those are red flags. Cinnamon Swirl says, most women know because they can't come over, etc. Once they know, then they're to blame. That's exactly right. That's when they are to blame, when they know and they still stay in it. When they know they still stay in it. So I totally agree. Teresa says, right, chit chat. You trying to get flued out too, sis, Teresa? Teresa trying to get flued out. I am going to drop the link, ladies. I would love to have you come up and share your experiences with us. Let us know if you have experienced anything like this, and give us your best practices, and let us know what did you do to mitigate the situation. Did you stay and work it out? How did it affect your relationship? And just let us know, because the purpose of the channel is for us to talk about these situations and to be able to share our best practices so that it can help each other, right? Because you may have dealt with something that I haven't, and you showed me how you mitigated and you moved around it, and that could help me. So that's what we want to do. Deshonda said, I know some dudes who had apartments where they took side chicks and wives had no clue, nor the women they were messing around with. Sis, who you talking about, Deshonda? Let's be clear, said they can't take what they dish out. Absolutely. Hey, sis, Girlfriend Chronicles, welcome to the panel. How you doing, sis?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for joining. Teresa Wright said, any Reese's Pieces stories or whatever her name was. I totally agree. Thank you so much for joining me, sis. What's your take on the topic?
My. Awesome. You are awesome. This topic is awesome. It's truly
Thank you.
needed. My take is, as being younger, not so wise, hadn't dated many people. Unfortunately, did date a cheater. Was not aware of anything because we were long distance. Um, Completely lived. He would come here um, every other weekend. So wouldn't have ever guessed that he was involved with someone. Um,
Hmm.
when I found out, um, had to take a step back and try to figure out what was I. That's again being younger. What was wrong with me? Wasn't I enough? What wasn't I doing? What could I have done better or whatever? Then I said, you know what? It's not me. It has to be after. Didn't break up right then because I still
Hmm.
wanted to figure out what was going on. What was the reason? And after I figured out it was this who he was, I wasn't the only. Me and her weren't the only ones. So once I figured that he was just a serial cheater, just a low down, dirty, stinking dog that didn't mind getting up with fleas in every city he went to. Um,
Mm.
I was like, It's not me, it's you, boo." It's something um wrong with you. And unfortunately, his father was a Rolling Stone, so that's what he saw in his home. And
Hmm.
unfortunately, the mother knew and put up with it. So I assume, um, seeing that that's what your mom put up with, you figured the women in your life would do the same, and not everybody was going to do that. So, and like you said, at this big age, you would think some people, like back then, but now, just speaking in general, now I'm 50. I'm just trying to understand, at what point do people, would you stop being a, a 304 when
Hmm.
the ED is kicking in? Um, when the funds is drying up, when your pension is running low, like at what point do you men stop being 304s and think
Hmm.
people are supposed to, want to put up with it?
So so how long was it that you left the relationship? Like, did you
Oh, that.
attempt to work it out?
Oh no, that I was in my like 20s,
Hmm. Hmm.
right after college, and I moved here, and in the city I was in, and it was someone back home, that you know
Hmm.
when I went away to college, I was gone for 4 years. So when I went home for like a couple months, met up, started talking and everything, and then I moved. So I didn't know his background or whatever, whatnot. We didn't go to the same high schools, so it wasn't long. I was like, no, and I'm in a new city. I'm in a chocolate city. I ain't got to deal with somebody back home that ain't worth nothing.
I
So
know that's right.
I was good. I was good. And then, talking to, and again, telling my business to a parent. And my mom was like, no, we don't do that. And I'm going to need you to fix that. So once she told me to let it go as well, that was fixed. So.
Well, good. We all had those moments in our quote unquote young and dumb days. We put up with some things that there's no way you could pay us to put up with those same things today.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey sis, welcome to the panel.
Hey, chit chat.
How are you?
Hey, hello, sis. Hey, girlfriend.
Hey.
Child over here eating some hummus and pita chips, being a fat girl.
Mm.
Um,
Well, hummus is
first I
healthy.
want to.
Yes.
It is, but these pita chips, well, they are the simply ones. They're the simply ones, so they're
Oh, that's
not
good.
as bad. But I'm hungry.
Hmm.
Uh, but first of all, excellent topic.
Mm-hmm.
Child, you got me over here re-evaluating some things. The wrong man. The wrong man. Look, at the end, when I knew that my marriage was over, I made a post on I was just bogus, okay? I made a post on Facebook and I said, I wear my ring on the other hand because I married the wrong damn man. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
that was like that was like as soon as we got back from Puerto Vallarta.
You
After
over
an
there ruffling
initial post.
feathers.
Girl,
Right.
look, yeah, I'm not the one to, and maybe that's a fault of mine, especially since I did stay or allowed him to stay. Um, not to that extent, Teresa. Like, did I make a mistake? No, not that. But I was mean. I'm a no nonsense type of girl. I don't believe in bending over backwards. I believe this is a two-way street. So the list, sis, that you read off at the start of the live, that was beautiful. Most times, unfortunately, a lot of men recognize that you're doing all of that and can still care less. I've never been a scorned woman. I'm not scorned now. Ciao. Uh, Conversation 2 days ago, listening to BS that I said, look, now enough. You know, so it's not that. But I think that in some cases, it has to be the party that's just out here being bogus that wants to really, really change and not just tell you I'm going to change. Teresa, when I say I was re-evaluating, I didn't, and I would never check phones. I didn't go up to jobs. I didn't do this. I just sat back and
Me
peeped game.
either.
Yeah, I just peep game and I keep a mental note or sometimes write that ish down. I'll never forget it was maybe December 23rd ish. And he was going to Walmart. You know, we were going to have his family over and I needed a couple things. He said he had to pick up some things, but this Negro got dressed, child, had on some nice jeans, had on some nice, fresh, clean
Not
gym
fresh.
shoes, child. Uh,
He
nice,
get fresh.
baby, a nice little jersey. Then I noticed he had a little, he asked me, "You see my chain?"
Oh,
I said, "Where the hell you going? You going to Walmart?
Not the chain.
Why you dressed like this?" Well, anyway, as we said last week, a lot of women said that they wouldn't do it, but when this chick who turned out to be bogus, who almost ended up, with them paws put on her, I entertained a phone call from her. And yeah, December 23rd, he stopped over to her mama crib, child. To her
Not the
mama's house.
mama.
Yes, ma'am. Well, she was living there too. So we talking about an Ariane Curry-ish type, you know. But yeah. So a lot of times when we talk about the wrong man, these wrong men comes with signs and red
True.
flags. And as women, a lot of times we either ignore them or, like you said, sis, we jump into this um nurturing role. We feel like we can change them. You know what I mean? And
mm-hmm.
the wrong man sometimes, most times, shows up as the wrong man. You may not see it when you're getting his representative, but I can guarantee you within months you will see things. So it's an excellent topic. I wanted to ask you after your discussion because how would, when we said that a lot of men are intimidated when it comes to strong women,
Mm-hmm.
how do you think that a lot of men will feel, and maybe this another live, being under a strong woman, Kamala Harris? I think it's a interesting discussion, and I think that it's a lot of our men, especially, that's out here saying that there are other reasons why they won't vote for her, and I really think it's that men have
I
problems with
agree.
strong women.
I
Definitely.
agree, sis. I think they do have a problem with strong women. They have a problem with women of power. And I think it's an ego thing. I think it's what they lack that intimidates them. And I too
Mhm.
have been seeing a lot of uh, people saying that they don't want, they wouldn't vote for her. And, that goes back to we see a lot of men not being okay with women pastors at church. And,
Mhm.
they
Mhm.
have an issue with women seemingly to be able to do things that they feel like they can't accomplish. And I think
Mhm.
it's something within them that, they don't like to feel inferior. I think they feel inferior to strong women. They don't like,
Yeah.
or they feel less than when they are dealing with a woman who is more intelligent than they are, who's
Mhm.
more, who, of course, is out in the social circle, and they're, bringing in, six figures, and, and here they are making minimum wage, and, they feel intimidated. It's like an intimidation factor. And I'm saddened that they will allow something like that to
Yeah.
prevent them from voting for someone who I feel could be a whole lot better than her competitor.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
And it's unfortunate for sure.
Mhm. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I
So,
want to say one last thing. When you mention why do we blame ourselves, there's one thing that I sort of blame myself because I did choose to stay. I did choose to
mhm,
give him another chance. But in that, I shut off everything. Clank, 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 clank. I don't trust you. You ain't putting nothing here.
mhm.
Clank, clank. So that's and maybe that caused him to go back out there. I'm not blaming myself for that. But yeah, although I forgive you, I'm still hurt by the action. And then, looking at what he cheated with. No, sir, you're not bringing that nowhere near me. So,
That part.
yeah, I just think that most times it's not worth it. I do think once a cheater, always a cheater. In some ways, you know what I mean? And yeah, excellent topic though.
I agree. Thank you for that.
Mhm.
Teresa said, I love the message you read at the beginning. Thanks, sis. Yes. And thank you for the Cash App, Teresa Wright. I appreciate you, sis. She just always be supporting. I love her. She just be boosting me up, even in your chat, sis. Thank you,
She's
sis. I
so
appreciate
beautiful.
you. Teresa said, my neighbor just told me Saturday that our black men marry out of our race because of our strong black women. He was
Mm,
talking about slavery and just married a clear lady, so I called him out. And you know what?
Mm.
Thank you, Aunt Debbie. I I think that that's a lot of the reason why they tend to marry outside of the race, because I've heard some men that I know that date other races say that the Caucasian women are more submissive. They can tell them what to do and they don't ask questions. And I think what it is that I honestly feel like they just know you can't just tell me anything and I'm just gonna ride with it. They don't like being held accountable. They don't like being questioned. They don't like you actually being able to stand on your own and showing them like you just can't do and say anything to me. And I don't think that it's a disrespect thing, or I don't think it's they like to title us the angry black woman, but have they stopped to think about that? I don't want to be strong all the time. Like, can I enter my soft girl era? You know,
facts.
can you step up and, take on some of the tasks that I usually would have to do and let me be soft for a minute? I don't always want to be strong, but we've been conditioned to be that way. If what we see out here is the lesser of the strong man, then we have to go get the second job because he's okay with working part-time, and the bills keep coming in and money got to come from somewhere. The kids need stuff, we need food, they need clothes. Like, at what point are you going to say, I got it, baby, you relax, you rest, I got it, I'll do it?
Mhm.
When our cars need to be repaired, we got to take it into the shop, we have to take it into the shop. Negro don't even know how to change a tire.
Mm-mm.
We got to call people to do things for us. So we don't want to be strong. I feel like we just have to be strong. I wish we didn't have to be as strong as we are, but it's been like that for as long as I can remember. Hey, sis. Hey, Neva. Thank you so much for joining us, sis. So I feel like I really wish that, and my question, let me ask a question. Do you all feel, this is for the chat and the panelists, do you feel that as women we give too much too fast when it comes to
Absolutely.
relationships?
Absolutely.
I agree. I always thought that I feel like we give too much too fast and it's underappreciated. I
Mhm.
feel like if we start doing um, wifely duties before we actually get the ring,
Mm-hmm.
what's the hurry in them putting the ring on our finger if we're already
Mhm.
giving them or behaving like the wife prior to actually getting the ring and earning the status? And I
Mhm.
really wish we would get to a point to where, it's a give and take situation. I'm gonna meet you where you at. I'm not gonna do the things for you that you're not doing for me. So I really
Mhm.
wish we could get to that point, but I just think it's like a woman thing. It's who we are, and we tend to just give too much too fast. And I really think that we could save ourselves a lot of the heartache that we go through if we kind of hold off on giving too much too fast
Mhm.
and making them work a little bit more harder for it
You know
I
what I
agree.
think
instead of just
it is?
going ahead. Go ahead, sis.
I'm sorry. I was gonna
Go
say,
ahead.
you know what I think that it is as well. The majority wants love. The of men, women I'm talking about. You want
Mm-hmm.
affection, you want attention, you want, somebody that's going to show you that they want you. And most times when you're in the dating stages and all of that, and you get that representative, some of them are true, men to their hearts and their attention intentions. But I think that when we do that, when we feel that initially, a lot of us go all in. Oh my God, he's calling me in the morning when he get up. He's calling me at night before he go to bed. He brought me lunch. He came up to the job. He did this, and I don't want to say we're easily impressed, but our hearts are being, massaged in a way. And I think when they do that, a lot of women, yeah, we go all in. And I think that we do have to step back. That's like for me, that's why I'm not even open to dating because I've never had a problem getting a man, and I know I have one right on over here tonight if I choose. I don't want that. You know what I mean? I want something that's I don't want nothing right now, just to keep it real. But yeah, I think because we want love, and a lot of these jokers are straight manipulators, so they know what you want, and they're gonna give you all of that up front, and then boom, there you go. You know?
I agree, sis, and I appreciate you saying that you're not rushing into anything
Mm-mm.
right now. And I think that's so important when we are coming out of relationships. And I know a lot of women who they don't like being alone. They don't like being without a man. So they're from relationship to relationship and they aren't allowing themselves the time to actually heal properly,
Mm-hmm.
learn yourself over again. Because a lot of us, I know me, I've never been in a short term relationship. It's always been years out in every relationship I've
Mm-hmm.
ever been in. And a lot of times when we have been in long term relationships like that, it takes some time for us to just relearn how to
Mm-hmm.
live alone and relearn how to do things by yourself. And it's just you. So I think it's important for us to take the time to learn our single selves over again and be happy being by yourself and do some things for yourself that you weren't able to do when you were in a relationship, and just learn you and what you're willing to accept going into another relationship. So I'm glad
Mm,
you said that, because it's good that you are taking that time to just do you before going into another
absolutely.
relationship. So hi Aunt Debbie, welcome to the panel. How you
Hey,
doing?
Happy.
Debbie.
Hello, Big
Hey.
Diva. Hello, Chit Chat, Girlfriend Chronicles. How y'all doing?
We are
Hello. Good,
good. How are
Debbie.
you?
I'm all right now that this noise done stopped over here.
What
Okay.
noise?
What noise?
Girl, they had a back to school party for the kids. They had a
Oh, Lord.
DJ. And that's why I couldn't
Oh,
do my live because y'all would have heard all that noise.
Oh, man. Well,
And
that
it
was
would have been
nice,
just like
though.
chaos and confusion. So that's why I changed it to tomorrow. And that's why I missed
Oh,
the first beginning of Pink Divas live because they was wrapping up and the noise was just too much. It was getting on my nerves.
mm.
well,
They
that
had
Oh,
a
was a good
bouncy house.
call.
They didn't
So
had a good time. Go on now, go on to school. Here, when it start?
right. Get y'all behinds on the school, child. Enough.
I'll be doing one at the end of the month. So I get it. They're going on all over the place. Well, welcome to the panel. What do you have to add to this topic? We've been talking about some juicy stuff on Debbie.
I heard a little bit. I heard the question when you asked. Oh, I think women make they move too soon. Now, when you
Hmm.
young, I'm gonna say for me, when I was young, I did cause soon as somebody say they like you all in. Make your
Exactly.
move too soon. You're not, you gotta fall back and really look at it. It might like you for the moment, but you don't know what they doing and you don't know about the representative. So as you get older, you see things that you didn't see when you was young. For me, if I meet somebody, I don't want him to try to change me. I'm not gonna change him, but I will change partners. If you're not for me, you
Ooh,
want to see.
child.
Yes, more. I'll change real quick. You don't have to worry about it. We ain't gonna argue about it.
Ooh,
I might
child.
not be for you,
Listen, you know
and
Aunt
that's
Debbie
all
gonna let
right
them know.
too.
Eh,
That's all right too. I might be for somebody else and not for you. I'm not mad about it, but I'm not finna sit up and cheat, let you cheat on me, make a fool out of me. And I say, oh, okay, I'm gonna nurture and give you another chance. I ain't getting you nothing but that dough. Go where you
mm-mm.
wanna be.
Exactly.
I
You know,
agree.
go with that person and make you happy. Cause you're not gonna make my life miserable, and
Uh,
I'm not finna worry. I'm not finna be seeing you cheating. I'm not finna track you. I'm not finna do none of that.
I agree.
What I'm
That's
gonna
too
do
much
is
like a headache.
move around. And I'm gone. You look up, I'm gone. I don't have time for that. And I think women, they want men, but some of these men just not ready, and the women not ready. Like you said, she makes six figures. She got somebody making $2 an hour.
Mm-mm. That's a no.
That's a no straight. Hell no, I ain't no finna be bothered. That means she gotta take care of everything. They go on dates, she gotta pay for it. He can't even get into the places that she wanna go. It's not gonna work. And then you got some men, they if they know a woman like them, they play on that. Oh, she like me, she accept anything I do. I'm this. See, they think they kings. No, 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 no. We're not doing that over here. I'm just one of them type people. I'm not finna do nothing. I'm not finna be no wife, and I'm not really a girlfriend. I'm not cooking for you. I'm not doing any of that. You have to find somebody that want to do those things, cause I'm not her, and I'm not her, and that's all right too. Go on now. I like being by myself. I don't have to be bothered with nobody trying to boss on me, cause you ain't gonna boss on me, and I don't take orders well.
I
I,
agree, Aunt Debbie.
I
I
do
don't
too.
take orders well.
Ooh,
You tell me to
child.
do something. If I don't want to do it, I ain't gonna do it. I'm just telling you, I don't take orders well. So, I might, like I said, I might not be for a man. Gone now. It's one to come along that accept me for who I am and what I am and will love it.
Yes, ma'am.
But if it don't suit your needs, find what will suit your needs. And it's all right. And it's all right for women too. You know, if he ain't what you want and he can't be up to your standards, let him go and get you somebody who is.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to settle. See, that's the problem. You settle and you end up with misery.
Mm-hmm.
And then you be talking about, oh, I wasting all that time. Well, you know it wasn't right in the beginning. You shouldn't even wasting no time. I ain't got no time to waste. Cause you can't get that time back.
Yes, ma'am.
And if he not for you, see that you don't like him, no, go on now. And go on, get you somebody else. Date around. You know, see what you like. And don't be afraid to date outside your race. Have fun with dating. Don't go into dating thinking you're going to get a man or this is your husband. You're just dating. That
I
means
agree.
you're just meeting someone and you want to get to know them. And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
I agree, Aunt Debbie. And I think a lot of the reasons why some women move so quickly when they're in the dating realm and want to lock in the relationship because other men are so quick to, or and women are so quick to, call us a garden tool just because we're dating. Just because they saw us with a different person this week than they saw us 2 weeks ago. Us being able to actually date, it's a issue in the eyes of some men and women. Like, men do it all the time. Why is it a bad thing because we are dating? And isn't that the purpose of us dating, is to try to get to know different men, to kind of see what we want, the traits that they portray, and if this
Double
is the
standard.
direction right. So why is it a bad thing when we decide that we want to date, but men do it all the time?
Mm-hmm.
And I used to think it was bad until my one girlfriend who does date around a lot, and she don't care the race, the size, the height. She care about that money though, cause she makes good money. But she said dating is like interviewing for a job. I got to
It
make sure I
is.
get the right person for the position that I want them to be in. I
Mm-hmm.
said, you ain't told me nothing but a word. I understand why. I did understand why she was. I said, I understand now why you do. She said, I go on many dates. I just don't, and I don't, they don't come to my house. I got a burner phone or whatever. She said, no one will ever have my home address until we're on that level. She said, even in the
Mm-hmm.
dating, it's going to be a minute before they come to my home. It's going to be a minute before they know where I work and where my phone number is. Because I don't want no mess. I don't want nobody sneaking up on me, riding by, doing all of that stuff as if they was married. Like, I don't need you checking on me. And I don't need you, getting upset if you do see me out on a date, or if you at my house and you going through my phone or anything. Like, you gonna see what you gonna see when it's time for you to see it. So I completely agree.
Mm-hmm. You know
I
what,
agree.
sis? Somebody that comes to mind for me, and unfortunately, it is a double standard, because most times when people feel that you're dating or they're looking on and they see that you're dating, that automatically means to a lot of people that you're sleeping with the person. And
Right.
most times, it's not. But Lori Harvey, Steve Harvey's daughter, stepdaughter, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Yes, great
Lori,
example.
yes, she dates, and she dates well. Okay, up,
Don't
nice
she?
looking man.
She
You
date
know,
up.
she dates
Mm-hmm.
up. And I've always felt that there is nothing wrong with what she's doing. They say, oh, these same men passing around the different women. What, a men being passed around too? If it's the same
Exactly.
circle of men and women dating each other, you just gonna alleviate him. He in that circle as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that I wish that I would have done when I was younger. Like you, sis, I've been in long-term relationships all my life, all my life.
Mhm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so I've never dated around, But yeah, you can date without it being the goal to be marriage. Look, I at this point in life, I don't know if that's gonna happen again. You got some money. You know, we may talk about that, but a traveling buddy, a dinner companion, uh,
Mhm.
Vegas, it shows every day. That's what I'm on. And technically, I got it, but he's wanting more, so I had to, slow that down. But all dating should not, when it comes to women, have the expectation of marriage or serious relationship. Go out here and have some fun and date around. Like girlfriend said, as long as you're protecting yourself, they don't know where you live, they don't know this, they don't know that. I feel there's nothing wrong with it at all. At all.
I agree, sis. And Lori is such a great example because
Mhm.
I saw them like tear her down, saying she's just being passed around. She's used material. And I'm sitting here like, why is it okay for y'all to do it? But when a woman decides to actually date, it's a problem because who's in the bedroom with this girl to know that she's actually sleeping with all of
Exactly.
these men? Like, why is it that we're labeled as being a pass around because
Yeah.
we're dating? And I remember the controversy that came with she and Michael B. Jordan when she was
Mhm.
dating him and he wanted to marry her and she said no. And
Mhm.
people really dogged that young lady. And my thing was, first of all, let's take a look at the age gap here. Yes,
Yeah.
we can see that he's older, more mature, and he's ready to settle down, and he's played the games already. He's ready to now find a wife, settle down. This girl is still young. She's a young girl. She's
Mhm.
still finding herself. She's still learning what it is she like or she don't like. And I respected her more for choosing her and deciding to
Yeah.
say, like, I don't care what your status is. I don't care that you Michael B. Jordan and that you were in People's Magazine as the most handsome man in the world. You know, no, I choose me and I decide
That's
to,
right.
agree to say yes on my own terms. I don't know why
Mhm.
people tend to think just because a person proposes, you don't have to say yes. I mean, you
Mhm.
don't have to say yes because they decide to get down on one knee and ask you to marry them.
Mhm.
But the fact that she was actually brave enough to go against the grain and to go against what society thought she should do, even with all the
Mhm.
backlash, she said no and she kept it moving. So I commended her for that. And that was a great example because they really did dog that girl
They
when
did.
she
But you know
decided
what that
to.
relates to, sis? What you just said, as far as her having the audacity to turn that down,
Mhm,
that relates to
mhm,
what you were
Mhm.
discussing earlier of it being put in our heads that basically that's the end goal for women.
mhm,
Right.
So yeah, present yourself in a nice manner. Make sure you know how to cook. Make sure you know how to clean. Make sure you do this. Make sure you do that. The end goal is marriage. So how dare she turn that down? People were offended by that. And she had that right. Yes, one of the largest celebrities in the world just proposed to me, and I said no. That's okay. That's okay.
I agree, and I commend her for that. And I'll actually even go into the whole Mel and Martell situation. Or I remember seeing a while back how people were trying to force Mel into relationships, and she just need a man. And why don't she get a man? Why is it that we as women
Mhm.
always dumb us down to the man? Like everything's okay as long as you got a man. Whatever happens to you being okay by yourself? Why
Wanda.
do we have to have a man? Like, what makes you think that I'm missing something because I don't have a man?
Mhm.
Why do we do that to each other, especially women? The first thing we say, she's just mad that she don't have a man. Why can't I just be happy I don't have a man?
Mhm.
Exactly.
Wanda. We just talked about that. Wanda's whole goal is for Tisha as long as she married. No
Right.
matter if he talks to you like a child on the phone, I mean on TV. No matter if he does this, stay out all night and all of that. It's unfortunate, but yeah, a lot of people subscribe to that. as long as you got a man, you know?
I agree. I agree. Hopefully
And
we
I
can
don't see
get
what's
out of
up.
that. Right on that.
I really don't. Because they say have a man, but what if you miserable with him and you just got peace of man? You just supposed to settle or take anything they get, they
Mm,
do to you just to say you got a man. I'd rather do
mm-hmm.
bad all by myself, you
Fact.
know. And I
Absolutely.
don't think I don't think people should judge women for dating. If you want to date whoever, it's good to date around so you'll know what you like and what you don't like. So you can see bums, you can see these jokers for what they really are. There's nothing wrong with that. Men do it all the time. And they date and date till they find that wife that they want or that perfect mate. So why can't women
Mm-hmm.
do it?
Right.
Mm-hmm. I
I
agree.
ain't saying get in the bed with them. That's your business if that's what you want to do,
That too.
But you don't have to be in the bed just because you go on a date.
It's true.
See, people have
And
their mind in the gutter because they think about what they'll do. And I'm talking about
exactly.
Wanda. She said she got a husband and a boyfriend.
Mm, mm.
So what she want Mel to get a husband and a boyfriend? Oh, that's all right.
But
Right.
Aunt
But
Debbie,
they
real
can't get
quick.
your food truck up and running.
Hey, except that food
Aunt
truck
Debbie,
game.
Aunt Debbie, real quick. If Wanda could have a husband and a boyfriend, Mel could have 10. 10 of 'em.
Hello.
That's what I don't
I
get.
I I know that, but I'm just saying that's
Right.
the
Mm-hmm.
women like her think like that. That's stupid. It's ignorant. You know, she trying to put on her what she doing, and to me that's not cool. Mel may not be ready for a relationship right now. She got other things going on. She'll get somebody when she want them, when God sent them to her. Maybe he ain't sent the man yet, and she just not in no rush to get nobody. And I don't blame them.
I agree. And everybody ain't thinking about a man. Like, you
I'm
know what?
telling
The pickings are slim out here these days.
My sister is my sister has decided, well, her kids are older now, but she decided once her daughter reached a certain age that she didn't want to date. She said, I want to get my daughter, I want to show my daughter an example of, being okay with yourself and being okay by yourself and, achieving the goals that you want to achieve at this moment. She was going to school to be a nurse and things like that. She said, I didn't want anyone mentally or physically taking up my time or abusing my time and abuse excuse me um um doing anything to her child, manipulating or doing anything that wasn't to be you know actual to her daughter when she became a certain age of um becoming a woman. So
Hmm.
she just decided, she said, I want my daughter to be able to, first of all, let me know when something happens. So a lot of times, we have to step back and not only think about ourselves but our children as well when you're wanting to date. You don't need to have any and everybody running in your house. You don't need to have any and everybody around your kids, introducing them to your kids. I find that to be especially it being the wrong man, that first of all you moving somebody in because they like you, or you dating someone who doesn't have the best intentions, um but see your kids or whatever reason, or they need a place to stay. you know, you just got to learn to be mindful of sometimes people have an objective of want to be dating you, and they just the wrong man at the
Mm-hmm.
wrong time, or yeah, just at the wrong time, because ain't nobody the right wrong man at the right time. So
Mm. Good point.
I love that. Good
Mm-hmm.
point. I agree. I wish we would, as women, that can just get to a point to where we just don't care what other people think. A lot of times we are forced into situations because we're too worried about what other people are thinking, or what other people are telling us they think we should do or should not do. And I wish we would just all be able to get to a point to where just do what you love, do what you enjoy. If you choose being single, there's absolutely nothing wrong with being single and loving and living your life the way that you want to do it, because um, marriage is stressful. Not only is marriage stressful, but relationships are stressful.
Mhm.
And we find ourselves going through things when we have companionship that, we'll be a little bit more at peace if we were just by ourselves. There's been times where we've been in relationships, and like on Debbie say, we can do bad all by ourselves.
Mhm.
And if every time I walk through the door and I'm coming home to a spouse, but I'm miserable, what's the point in me being married? Why not just be by myself? What's the point? Like,
Mhm.
what's the perk in just saying I have a man? Like, am I happy? Is this my soulmate? Does he enhance who I am? Am I
Yeah.
operating in my best self when I'm with this person? Like, take a deep dive. And if you feel like you're in the wrong relationship, there's absolutely nothing wrong with you choosing you and deciding to
Mhm.
walk away. If he's not for you, choose you and
Mhm.
go be by yourself. Don't allow people
Mhm.
or what other people would think or say to cause you to stay in unhealthy relationships. And um, don't second guess yourself. Pray about it and keep it
Mhm.
moving. Like Aunt Debbie say, go be by yourself. There's
Mhm.
absolutely nothing wrong with it. My sister is single, and when I say she lives her best single life, I'm talking
Baby.
about she goes out the country by herself. She goes out to eat by herself. Like, she kicks it, and she's okay with that. And I really wish that a lot more of us will get to the point to feeling like we're not less than because we don't have a significant other,
Mm.
you know, because
Mm.
you still are whoever God ordained you to be, with or without a man. The man does
Mm.
not make
Mm.
who you are. Just because you
Mm.
have a man laying beside you at
Mhm.
night, keeping the pillow warm, does not mean you winning. I know a lot of people who got men in the house, but they miserable. They're not
Mhm.
happy.
Exactly.
So you that does not determine your happiness by saying that I have a man. So
Yeah.
choose you at all times. Like,
Mhm.
do what works for you, because what works for me may not work for you. And it's okay if you are a person who totally is against marriage. Like, there's nothing wrong with you not wanting to be married. There's nothing wrong with you not wanting children. That's not
Mhm.
the blueprint for our lives as women, that we have to be married with kids and the white picket fence. You can go build and have all those things by yourself without a spouse if that's what you choose to do. Your path is your path, my path is my path. So you have to do
Mhm.
what makes you happy at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Teresa Wright said, my husband is my best friend too. He established when we first got married that my money is my money and he takes care of everything else. I cook, he cleans the kitchen. Yes, Teresa, I love that. That's called a partnership.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
that's what relationships are all about. It's being
Mhm.
equal partners in this thing. It's not you do this because you're the female and I do that because I'm the man. My husband is the same way. I tell sisters all the time, my husband cook more than I do. And I
Mhm.
didn't make that sandwich either, sis.
You didn't, girl. Shit.
Girl, I didn't make that sandwich.
If you don't cook that man a meal, now look at me sounding like the old folks. Child.
Listen, I grabbed some chicken.
I know that's
I didn't
right.
make that
He
sandwich, but
fed.
listen,
He
my
fed.
husband cooks more than I cook. He cooks for me. And I get so tickled when I tell my dad this, because my dad is straight old school. He believes in the woman being in the kitchen and the woman cleaning. My dad called me on Saturday morning and he'll ask me where my husband at. I say, in the kitchen cooking me some breakfast. And he say, what? I say, he's in the kitchen cooking me some breakfast. He said, why you ain't in there cooking breakfast? I say, because as for me and my household, my husband cooks me
I know
breakfast.
that's
That's
right.
what we do
I
over
know
here.
that's right.
So my husband cook more than I cook, honey. He cooks way more than I cook. And
Mhm.
and it works for us. It
Mhm.
works for us. So you have to be with somebody that enhances who you are, and you can work together and have a real partnership, and you're pulling equal weight, and not just saying that's your job versus this your job.
Yeah.
It really is a partnership, and it makes it even more peaceful to come home when all of the stressors
Mhm.
aren't on you, feeling like you have to do everything by yourself.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
You know what I think, sis? And just listening to you guys and looking at a lot of the comments, even in my current past situation that I just ended, a lot of those components were there. As far as doing everything right, it was the things that you were doing wrong that overshadowed everything else. Same
mhm.
thing. Cooked. He loved to cook. Can barbecue like Leon's barbecue at 57 in Chicago. All of that. But some, and I think that that's what kept me. It was a lot of good, but those bad, although some may look at them as small, I didn't outweighed everything. But I think that too can keep a lot of women stuck in situations because you see the good that's being done, or the things that they do well. But yeah, sometimes some deal breakers are just deal breakers. I love reading these comments from Teresa and everybody in the chat. And I think that that's what people like Wanda and everybody else need to realize. Again, just because you may have made the decision to end something, does not mean that you want everybody to be in this, because I'm not sad. So I don't want everybody to be single. Or I'm not looking at people that's married and rolling my eyes and all of that. That is the ideal thing. But in order to pass on the correct message, like to Teresa's, I think you said your niece or your daughter or somebody walked in order to pass on the correct things that you should do and not tolerate, you have to have boundaries. You have to.
I agree, sis. And deal breakers are different for everybody. And
Hmm.
just like you, I love love. And like you said, just because it may not have worked for me does not mean I wish for that same thing to happen
Yes.
to you. But what I can do, I can share my experiences, because I was wise enough to walk away, but I also was wise enough to recognize the red flags and see
That's
what was
right.
actually going on within the relationship, to be able to help me say, I choose me, and I
Hmm.
decided to walk away versus to stay.
Hmm.
The wrong thing we want to teach is to stay by all means necessary.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody to stay in a situation that's unhealthy, that's a domestic situation. We're
Hmm.
teaching, that's the wrong message that she's sending, is to stay. Well, as long as you got
Hmm.
a man, and a man gonna be a man, we
Yeah.
get that. But I get to decide how I want that man to be for me.
That's right. That's
You're
right.
going to be a man, but there are just some things you can't do to me. And I'm not going
Hmm.
to stay in that relationship. So, given the way society is today, I wish more conversations like this would happen to help
Hmm.
teach the young girls and young women, and even some of the seasoned women like us, that it's absolutely okay for you to walk away from a situation that is not serving you. If your boundaries are your boundaries, if this man is being mean and evil to you, it's
Mm.
okay to throw in the towel if that's what you want to do. We can't stay the wrong out of the man. The
That's
longer you
right.
stay doesn't mean that they're going to change. What if it never changes? What if the
Hmm.
situation only worsens? Do
Mhm.
you continue to stay? Like, when is
Martell.
hello? Right. When is
Hmm.
enough enough? At some point, enough has to be enough, because
Yeah.
either I married you or I married you and her. What's it gonna be?
Hmm.
Our
Hmm.
relationship is supposed to be a sacred partnership between the both of us. And I don't have to stay in a situation while you go out and have fun until you decide that you want to get it right. Just hang in there with him, and he's just being a man. And as long as he's coming home to you, Like, I hate hearing those types of conversations. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
why does he get to go out and have the fun? And I just sit here and be
Yeah.
miserable. I sit
Yeah.
here and I hurt and I cry. I'm the one that's suffering behind it, and he's out having all the fun. I don't care that he pay all the bills in the house. Is that okay for me to just still sit back
That's
and wait and
right.
take care of all the bills? I don't care. That still does not give him a right to think that he can do any and everything to me, and I'm supposed to just be okay with it, because little do you know, it beats and beats down at your self-esteem.
Mhm.
And
Yes,
then you
ma'am.
start to feel like this is all you deserve, but you deserve way more than somebody who's not choosing you. So why should I choose you and you're not choosing me? It's a
Mm,
one-sided relationship. And the thing we have to always remember is that I can't want it for us if you don't want it. It takes
that's
two.
right.
I can't fight for something you're not willing to fight for. Because I can be over here doing all I know how to do. If you not meet me halfway, it's not going to be successful. If you
Yeah.
choose the streets, I can't choose to want to fight for the relationship. Just keep sticking it out. Just keep sticking it out. But when is enough enough?
Mm,
When is being enough for the wrong man?
Mhm.
mm,
It can't. So at some point, it's okay to wave the white flag, and throw in the towel, because
mm-hmm.
I choose me. I would rather sit at my house by myself in my cute pajamas with my wine in front of my
Baby,
fireplace, my
Mhm.
TV, by myself
about to pour
any
me
day.
some now.
Hello? Any day over coming home and my peace is disturbed, or I'm with
Mhm.
somebody that I know is the wrong person for me, or I'm coming home to somebody who does not appreciate what I'm bringing to the table, or I'm with somebody that I feel I can't be my best self around. Like, who wants to
Mm,
come home, or who wants to be with somebody to where I can't really be happy for the successes in my life, because I don't have somebody who's rooting for me at home.
mhm,
So I can't
mhm,
talk about those things to him. And I can say, when I was going through, before I got a divorce from my ex-husband, there were moments that I didn't even want to go home. I worked a
mm,
second shift job at the time, and up the street from my house, we had a 24-hour Walgreens. And when I got off work, I would go sit in that parking lot for an hour before
mm,
I went home. I would sit there. That was my peace. That was my time to decompress from work, my
mhm.
time to where I had time to sit and to be able to think, because I didn't know what fresh hell was waiting for me when I got home. It
Yeah.
was always something, always something. There was never good moments when we were going through the transition of leading to the divorce. Like, it was never
Mhm,
a good moment, and I was miserable. I was miserable. And what I did, I prayed. I prayed because I said, Lord, I know this is not the life that you have for me.
Mhm.
And if this situation is for me, not for me, give me a sign. And I'm going to say this:
mm.
when you pray and ask God to show you some
Yes, ma'am.
signs,
Yes,
you
He'll
ma'am.
better
show
be
you.
ready. You better be ready to move when he show you those signs, because they coming. And when I say it was back to back to back, it was like
Mm.
one thing after the next. He was just showing me, showing me. And I was like, okay, Lord, slow down, slow down. Because
Mm,
it was just coming back to back to back, and he was
mhm.
just showing me stuff. And then he also told me, he said, I showed you, now what you gonna do?
Mhm.
So when he show you, you got to be ready to move. And that was all I needed him to do, was to show me, because I asked. I asked him and he showed me. And I know I was connected to the wrong man, because there's no way I could be who I am today had I stayed connected to who I was married to then.
Mm,
He wasn't my
mm,
partner. We were unequally yoked. But,
mm,
we were high school sweethearts, grew up next door neighbors, parents knew each other, parents in the church, and all of that kind of stuff. But it was still the wrong person. I
yeah.
was connected to the wrong person. So there's no way I would be able to be as successful as I am today if I didn't have the husband I had today. Because my
Mm,
ex-husband, it was no way I could grow and walk in my purpose because I
mm,
was connected to the wrong man. And I saw that. And when I separated myself from him, that's when my blessings came in. I was
mm,
blocking my
mm,
own blessings by being married to the wrong man. A lot of
baby.
people
Mm.
don't understand. You block
Male.
your
Yep.
own blessings by being connected to the wrong
Absolutely.
people.
Yep.
So when I say check your circle and evaluate your circle and who you are connected to, it matters. And I know a lot of us have heard males say that time and time again, who you
Mm-hmm.
connected to matter. I'm a living witness.
Mm,
I've been there and
mm,
I've done that. I was
mm,
married to the wrong man. When we watched the movie Sleeping with the Enemy, that was my story.
Oh
mm,
no. Oh my
That
God.
was my story. It's a
mm,
true thing to be sleeping with the enemy. You can
mm,
have
mm.
somebody sitting right there and you married to them and they're your enemy the whole
Yes,
time.
ma'am.
Mm.
They are
Yes,
more
ma'am.
against you than they are for you. And you
Mm.
walking around here saying, my husband, and I got the ring. So who you are connected to matters. And
Mm,
I hope that
mm,
somebody in this chat or whoever will come in and listen to it later, like choose you. Um, Make sure you know
Mm.
you lay it all on the table as far as what your expectations are and not what other people are saying, you should or should not do. You make sure you evaluate, what you like and what you don't like. And, it's okay with dating and it's important to date. Ask questions. I gave my daughters a dating game. It was a questionnaire. I say these are the questions you ask when you go on a date. Make sure your first date is somewhere that's quiet, not a quiet, nice ambiance to where you can hear each other talk so you can ask questions. What you
mm,
like? What's your favorite color? Well, what do you like to do when you're angry? Because see, you don't never know who you with until they get angry. That's when that
right.
representative go out the window.
Yes,
When
ma'am.
you have a disagreement and they get angry, pay attention to their demeanor. Pay attention to the things that they say to you in anger because that's who they really are. So being connected to the wrong person, it's a thing.
Mm,
And we're never enough for the wrong man. Never. Teresa
mm,
said, my sister did the same thing. She worked overtime all the time to get away from home. I
Mm.
agree. And that's a miserable way to live. It's a miserable way to live. And I knew it was time to go because I started having dreams of doing things to him.
Mm.
I was having
baby.
those dreams that I was doing something to him
Yes,
in
ma'am.
his sleep. So I said, it's time to go. It's time to go. So
Mm,
I chose me, packed up me and my babies, and we got to stepping. And when I
mm,
say, when I moved into my new house, just me and my kids, it was so refreshing. When I walked through the door, home was where I wanted to be.
mm-hmm,
It was so peaceful. I didn't have to worry about turning my phone on silent, locking my phone. Didn't have to worry about arguments just out of nowhere. Didn't
mm,
have to worry about my peace being disturbed. I was actually happy
mm-hmm.
and I was by myself. Let me go read some comments.
And sis, real quick, for the ladies in the chat, if you did not see Mel's speech from 2 days ago when she was in Florida, go to Traces of Twan's Life channel. A lot of things that we're discussing now. Mel mentioned that. She mentioned how just what you just said, sis, how she knew that she was with the wrong person. Based off of
Mm.
a question that she asked Martell. She mentioned when she left, she stayed at a friend's apartment. The friend was gonna leave, and the friend was moving out of the apartment, but she still had it for a couple weeks. She went there first, then she went to Marcus' house, then she did this. She talked about having nothing but peace, having nothing but the smiles on her children's faces because they knew this is different. Mama
Mm.
not crying no more. There's no more arguments. There's no this.
Mm.
So
Mhm.
yes, ma'am, you have to put all on self. Go all in on
Mm.
self. if the situation is not what it's supposed to be. It's a beautiful thing. It really is.
Mhm. Mm.
You are so right, sis. And she did. That was a beautiful speech
Awesome.
that she gave. Awesome. I
Yes,
would have
ma'am.
loved to be in the room. It is an
Mm,
amazing,
mm,
amazing success story. And people just don't understand. Like, we only see the outside of what
mhm,
we see, right? We don't know what actually took place
mhm.
behind closed doors. We don't
That's
know
right.
what, a lot of women have to go through behind closed doors. And when the opportunity presents itself, I know that when we're going through it, it's hard. Sometimes it's hard for us to see the light at the end of the tunnel, but
Yeah.
God is really just preparing us and allowing our test to be a testimony for somebody else, because her sharing her story, me sharing mine, you sharing yours, it can help the next person. Because a
Mhm.
lot of times we be in situations and we be feeling like we the only person going through this thing. Like,
Yeah.
life is so hard for me and I see everybody else living their best life. But guess what? It's easy to put on a smile, for
Mm,
social media. It's easy to turn on a
mm,
smile and not show you what I want you to see. But who am I behind closed doors? Like, when I'm not connected to you, when I'm not
yeah.
on, social media, what demons am I battling, or what
Mm,
fight am I fighting behind closed doors? Like, you never know the strength that a person holds. And that's why I tell sisters all the time when we're talking about Mel, although she's younger than we are, I admire her strength and her courage
absolutely.
and her ability to bounce back, because she went
Mhm,
through something that a lot of us wouldn't have been able to withstand.
mhm.
I mean, that is a traumatic situation, and it played out on social media. It all over the world, could see what she was going through. And for the life of me, I don't understand why people continue to try to tear her down. Like, I look at her as a pillar of strength. Like, I don't see how she's
Mhm.
still standing.
I'm
I
telling
mean,
you.
the stuff that she went through, there's days I'm sure she felt like she was losing her mind and she was fighting a losing
Mhm.
battle. And not only that, being in a situation to where you also fighting for custody of your children after with the
Yeah.
man that cheated and did what he did to you.
Mhm.
Figure, like, that's a hard battle. So she'll forever have grace for me. I don't care what she
Absolutely.
say to other people. I don't care what she do, because at this point she earned it to me.
Here.
So
Here.
whatever she
And
do
she
and
and
say,
she let it be known that she was broke when she left. When
she
she left,
sure
she
did.
said it was COVID and ain't no money coming in from the show or anywhere else. Had no money, no nothing. And look at her. So if that doesn't inspire
Mhm.
women and men, I would say, I don't know what is. So yeah, for me as well, I don't give a dog what. She has every right to clap back, do whatever she feels necessary. But that story, that personal story, I love it. I love it. I love
Mhm.
it. Somebody
Yeah.
asked for the link. The link is in the chat for Swan's video where you can go watch Mill's full speech. Absolutely amazing.
It was amazing. Definitely go check it out. It'll definitely touch you for sure. And it's things
Mhm.
that she hadn't shared before. So that was my first
Yes,
time hearing the depths of her story,
yes.
about what happened when she was going through her divorce. So definitely go check that out. It was
Mhm.
definitely an inspiring story. Any woman that could have been, should have been in that room. Like, I can only
Mhm.
imagine what her book would be if she was to come out with a book. I'll be first to get it, because
Okay.
I know that she has an inspiring story. And just watching from what we've seen afar and seeing um, how she's blossomed into rebuilding everything that she had to um, close when she went through her divorce. So it's an inspiring story. She inspired me, and I know she inspired a lot of them, which is why her fan base is so big, and the reason
Mhm.
why people hate her so much. So kudos to Mel, and kudos to all of you that have gone through and overcome something similar, because it's hard when we have to choose to find peace in the middle of a storm that we're going
Mm.
through. And,
Yeah.
I'm just so appreciative of these platforms and to all the content creators that's on the panel in the chat for creating a safe space for us to be able to share our stories so that, our stories can reach the masses, because the more
Mhm.
people or more women that it reach, the better, for us to be able to share stories and be able to just learn from each other. So I've really, really been enjoying tonight's discussion. I think it was a much
Yes.
needed discussion. And thank you to everybody that was sharing. And now we're going to go around and go to you, Girlfriend Chronicles, and we're going to have final topics. Anything you want to talk about, anything else you want to add to our discussion, you have the floor.
I do, and I'll make it quick, even though it's a long story, but I'll make it quick. So, knowing, I know someone who dealt with the for better or for worse. The husband cheated on her majority of their marriage. Um, he ended up with Lyme disease. I'm not telling it. It ain't HIPAA because y'all don't know who it is. Um, but he ended up with Lyme disease. Got sick, disabled with it. No longer able to walk. Do a lot of things, and especially um, extra have intercourse. So she became bitter because she did stay with him when he got ill. She became bitter with his family because they were aware of his cheating. Um, didn't, take her side, whatever. His brother then became violent with her.
Mm, mm,
Unfortunately, yeah, they got into it because she no longer allowed them to see him. She moved him completely out of the state and everything. Um, and unfortunately, when he passed, she, kind of disregarded a lot of their wishes, which is, as a wife, you can do so. But Mocha, sorry, y'all, um, um, moved the mother out of their apartment that they had there. So, she did a lot of things out of spite for him. Um, when he passed on, um, she had, of course, she has the insurance policy, but like no one received anything but her and her kids. Um, so unfortunately, men have to take accountability when they are cheating. And like I said, how it affects everyone. It's not just that them
mhm,
and that spouse, it's the kids, it's the family, because, sadly, some family members do um, go ahead and go along with their family member and knowing
mhm,
that they're cheating, and that's very that's sad, because in the end, when something happens, they gonna still want to see them grandkids, they gonna still want to see their nieces and nephews, they gonna still want to see, treating it like it's just old regular schmegular, when you knew all along what this man was doing. I was coming to y'all asking, can y'all speak with him, can y'all, like, tell me what I should do, from an elder, and the elder saying, "Oh, just stick with him," like, like they saying, which is so unfortunate. But it's not just one person being affected. People have to take in consideration all parties involved. And that's my take. So
mm.
Mm,
yeah,
thank you for
sad.
sharing.
Hmm.
That
Wow.
makes me think of y'all remember the movie Diary of a Mad Black Woman?
Hmm.
Mhm.
I
Hmm.
don't think I could have done that. Or if I would have been able to do it, it would have been all
Mm,
God. Because I don't think I would have been
mm-mm.
able to take care of Charles.
Charles would have been Lauderdale. Charles would have drowned right there in that tub. I'm sorry, Charles. It ain't happening.
Baby.
I'm a girl. Look, don't get me started.
Charles
No,
would
man.
have been blowing bubbles in that water. Cause
Baby, upside down for days. Do you hear me? Skin would have been shriveled up. Charles would have been shriveled. Baby Charles would have been in that tub forever. Okay. You can go and use the bathroom. I'll run water on you to rinse right on off. This is your permanent spot.
Right.
Uh, yeah, no.
No,
No.
now I want to
No.
go watch the movie, but baby,
Girl, you
I
gonna
do
make
not.
me do it because he was so
Right.
mean. And look, it's a shame people really dislike him in real life because of
For
that
Because of that.
real,
role.
yes.
Because of that role, baby.
Yeah, he played it well, didn't he?
Yes, yes, yes.
Like, how dare you?
Maybe Charles would have been looking like a California raisin once he got done
Girl,
with
that water would have swallowed Charles all the
shriveled
way
up.
up.
Swallowed,
Oh, y'all wrong.
swallowed up right there in that water forever. For better
You
or
don't
worse,
get to
better for you,
you don't get to
Charles, is right
dog me
there in the
Right.
out.
tube. Yeah.
Right. You
Right.
dog me out and then I got to care for you,
Right.
baby.
No, no,
Right.
no, no, no.
Yeah.
You can stay because you can no longer walk or anything. You can definitely stay, but you're gonna stay right there. Yeah. You can listen to you can listen to me and Billy right there in the room, you know.
Woo! Girl, straight torture.
Okay.
You hear me?
Hey,
Right.
payback is a mother.
Girl, that's why you say you don't never know who you gonna need. So it
Mm-hmm.
just pays to be good to everybody because you just don't
Yep.
ever know. Okay,
Facts.
sis, what are your final
Now
thoughts?
you got me up here acting a fool. I be trying to compose
I'm
myself
sorry.
when I'm at Aunt Debbie's or when I'm at Sister's channel. And then y'all just make me snap right on into it. I done had a flashback, child, a child. Uh, Girl, that
Y'all
made me
go watch
mad.
the
Oh,
movie.
yes, let's watch and discuss next week. Yeah, Charles. No, but on a serious note, this is what it's all about. When I tell you I appreciate this discussion tonight from start to finish.
Mhm.
It's educating, it's humor, it's all of the above, and it's also empowerment for women. And I just love it. I don't have much when it comes to final thoughts, but the title is enough, being more than enough for the wrong man, and that should never
Mhm.
happen. The key word in that is more, too, than. If you
Mhm.
are more than what he's doing for you, no, it's simple. And I do think that that comes with age. Tanya, they made me child. Y'all forgive me. I'm sorry. I do think that that may comes with a little age or experience, or you know what I mean, being heard. And look, the colors of the traffic light is red, yellow, and green.
Mhm.
Green, all good. Beautiful stories in the chat. Green. Sometimes you may get some yellow. Caution, but you're not all the way there. You know what I mean? But when
Mhm.
it gets to red, it's done. Stop. It's just as simple as that. Just stop, because you'll look up and you've wasted years, you've wasted time, you've wasted resources and emotions and everything else. So yeah, just stop. I don't believe in being more than. No, I'm just enough, and I want you to be enough, and we can go on and be enough together. But yeah, I don't do the bending over backwards because it's not appreciated most times. So that's my final thoughts. I'm sorry, Mama V2 child. Charge your ass. Sorry, sis. Let me say this. Let me say this before I go. Charles. Charles would have been in the shed, baby, in the backyard. I come out there and give you a little cracker or something. The way that Negro disrespected her,
Girl,
and then the side chick can't deal with it. No, Like I said, he would have been a
baby.
California raisin, shriveled up, baby. Charles would have went from 300 pounds to 30 by the time I got to him. For better or worse, my arse. It was worse when you was out there doing it. That was worse. Your ass was outside this house doing this, doing that. And then now, just because I took vows with you, I have to. No, sir. Oh, child. Y'all done got me fired up. We'll talk about it in another
Right.
move. Let's
And you
continue that in the left.
and you see the side chick rolling right on back to the house.
Baby,
Oh,
Now
roll
go
them
man.
on
right.
over there and be with your
Baby,
wife.
I would have chased that chick car. I would have chased her down. No, ma'am. Take this Negro right with you. He
Look,
can't stay
tied him
here,
right back, tied him to the bumper.
baby. Look, girlfriend, like them cans when they say just got married. Charles would have been tied right back to the bumper of her car. No,
Look,
sir.
hitting
You ain't gonna make
stoplights and everything.
it. We don't care. Yeah, that's that. That's that on that. That's that on that. Okay.
Charles would have stood a chance, honey.
No, ma'am.
Mm. Aunt Debbie, what's your final thoughts?
My final thoughts are this. If you got a man and he look better going than he do coming, make a change. Think of
Mm.
yourself. Now, Charles would have been playing in traffic.
Dipping and dodging.
Not traffic.
Ooh.
Tell you now, he'd have rather been anywhere but over there with me. He'd have been rolling that wheelchair down the expressway in a hurry.
Ow. Not the
Not
damn
on the
Ryan.
damn Ryan, Aunt Debbie.
Not the damn Ryan. On that.
Yeah, he would have been rolling hard. And that lady too. Here she comes. She don't have no more use for him. She bring him back to the wife. Now, I'm telling you, I've been in that situation. I've told him, Kim, where you got him from? I don't care if you carry him to a nursing home, but don't leave him here. He
Mm.
can't stay here, cause I know me. He gonna be in
Mm.
traffic. He ain't gonna live. He ain't gonna be right here. So
Mm-mm.
go on now, go on. But like I say, protect your peace by all means necessary.
Yes.
Mm.
And if you meet a man and he think he can move in the day he meets you, know you got a bone.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Kimmy.
I'm telling you, that's Kim.
Uh-huh.
Know you got a bone. Then don't move them in. Let them stay where they. If they on the couch, leave them there, and tell them you'll be right back. And don't never see him again. Cause he ain't got nothing to offer you. He only coming to your house to see what you got and get what you got, and take it to elsewhere, to somewhere else.
Mm.
Gotta date smart. Gotta be smart about this dating thing. And just take care of yourself. But most of all, discover yourself and enjoy yourself.
Discover yourself. That's deep.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
I love
Discover.
being by myself. I do. I do. I really do. I enjoy it. I can laugh over here and talk, look at TV, get on there, talk to y'all, and be just happy. Ain't got nobody in there telling me, you need to turn that off. I don't get, hey, go home,
Mm.
stay at home. And if I don't invite you over, don't be looking to come to my house.
Mm.
Exactly.
I don't like
Mm.
surprises. People need to, and men, if you're not going to do right, don't get involved. Stop playing.
Right.
That's all.
Aunt Debbie, I'm right there with you. You can come to my house. I will watch you on my camera and tell you I ain't home. Okay? Dog
Fact.
barking and everything, and you can hear the dog in the background. Oh no, I ain't home. You better call, text, or something before you come over here.
Well, I give you the wrong address and don't care.
Mm-mm.
Woo, child. Aunt Debbie don't play no games.
Period.
I sure will and don't even think twice about it, don't care. I'm telling you this. I'm telling you, I'm the way I am now. I'm telling you, I ain't be bothered with it. I tell you what, I'll give you an address. If you go, you go. Hey, if I ain't there, I don't care.
I am
I
not
don't play
mad at
no
you, Aunt
game.
Debbie.
Mm-mm.
And see, we need more Aunt Debbies around here. We need
Yes.
some Aunt Debbies that can teach the young girls and
Yes.
give them this good sound wisdom.
Mm.
Because this
Mm.
is what I see a lot of the younger girls are missing. they're missing this good sound wisdom. So, Debbie, we appreciate you for your wisdom.
Yes, ma'am.
We laugh and cackle because it's funny, but you are really dropping some nuggets. You are giving
Mm-hmm.
us some great nuggets that even at we at our big age can
That's
take
right.
back and apply to our own lives, and be able to appreciate the wisdom that you share with us, and we really do appreciate you and for sharing your wisdom with us. And we definitely will be taking this back and applying it. And I hope that, if you got daughters, share this live with your daughters and or your good friends that may be
Mm-hmm.
going through some things like this, and have them listen in, and they can, hear all of this wisdom that's going on. Even in the chat, you ladies have been awesome and have shared some great
Yes.
knowledge in the chat. And that's what this is about. It's about us being able to share with each other and talk about some of life's experiences. Tanya B said, "On Debbie's teachings are balanced, mixed mixture of love and raw."
Yes,
Absolutely,
ma'am.
that's what we
Yes,
need.
ma'am.
Somebody to tell us like it ti is. Tell us, the hard truth. She gives
Mm-hmm.
and she's the goat for real. Indigo Girl said, Aunt Debbie is the real goat. Any young woman around would have sense and make sound decisions. Thanks for your wisdom, Aunt Debbie. For real.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Her wisdom is so appreciated, and we hope you know that, Aunt Debbie. We really do appreciate
Yes.
um
But
uh,
I appreciate y'all wisdom as well. And y'all some inspirations. Pink Diva,
Oh,
Chit Chat.
mhm.
I just love y'all. I really do. And the
oh,
women in the chat,
love you.
y'all smart.
Back.
So, we teach each other.
Mm-hmm.
We teach each other.
Absolutely. And a lot of us had to get there. We had to go through some things
Mm.
to get here. Experience has taught us a lot over our time frame, and
Mm-hmm.
so we just appreciate still being able to have jewels such as yourself that's still bringing this knowledge and this wisdom that we can share around and be able to talk and get your point of view. So it means a lot to us to still have that, because we lack that. We lack having women such as you who are still able to just give us that good sound doctrine, as my grandmother used
Yes.
to. So we love you back. We appreciate you. Let me go
Yes.
read some comments. Daughter of Israel said, experience has been a good teacher for me. Yes, I agree, sis. It's been a
Mm-hmm.
great teacher for me too.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times we don't like the our motivational quote said earlier, we don't understand our strength until we go through a struggle. So a lot of times when we are going through things, we don't see the end of the tunnel, but when we go through and overcome those things, that's when we recognize just how strong we actually are. So um, we have to learn how to be appreciative of the struggles that we go through, because it's a learning lesson, and experience
Mm-hmm.
is the best teacher. You don't know what you will be able to overcome until you actually go through it. And sometimes we seem that, the task is hard, but when we overcome it, we're able to just look back over where we came from and learn how to appreciate the journey. And it makes us better people. And we know what to look for going forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you, everybody. I'm so appreciative to have everybody join us. This was a great topic. Did y'all enjoy this topic today? This was a great topic.
Awesome.
It was
Yeah.
a great
Awesome.
topic, much needed. And as you all saw, that I did put a post on the community wall. I'm going to be introducing my Lay It on the Table segment. So if you have any hot topic that you want to talk about, it could be anything. Just drop it up under that post and I'll add it to my list of topics that we discuss. So we want to make sure we
Mm-hmm.
cover a wider range of different topics, something that we can relate to, and just whatever you want to talk about, we talk about it over here.
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
So thank you all for joining. So now that we've got our final thoughts, I'm going to read our encouragement post for tonight before we conclude. And this one, I know every last one of us can apply to ourselves, and I'm sure everybody has read it. It is one of my favorite poems. And as I'm reading it, I want you to know that everybody in the chat, on the panel, each and every one of you are phenomenal women. So I'm going to read Phenomenal Woman by the Dr. Maya Angelou. Pretty women wonder where my secret lies. I'm not cute or built to suit a fashion model size. But when I start to tell them, they think I'm telling lies. But I say it's in the reach of my arms, the span of my hips, the
Mm,
stride of my step, the curl of my lips. I'm a woman, phenomenally phenomenal woman. That's me. I walk into a room just as cool as you please, and to a man, the fellows stand or fall down on their knees. Then they swarm around me, a hive of honeybees, and I say, it's the fire in my eyes and the flash of my teeth, the swing in my waist and the joy in my feet. I'm a woman,
mm,
phenomenally phenomenal woman. That's me. Men themselves have wondered what they see in me. They try so much, but they can't stand my inner mystery. When I try to show them, they say they still can't see. And I say, it's in the arch of my back, the sun of my smile, the ride of my breast, the grace of my style. I'm a woman, phenomenally phenomenal woman. That's me. Now you understand just why my head's not bowed. I don't shout or jump up or have to talk real loud. When you see me passing, it ought to make you proud. I say, it's in the click of my heels, the bend of my hair, the palm of my hand, the need for my care. Because I'm a woman, phenomenally phenomenal woman. That's me. So that
Ooh,
is who we
child.
are, phenomenal women.
Yes.
Phenomenal.
Yes,
Yes,
we
ma'am.
are.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Phenomenal women. I love, love, love Dr. Maya Angelou, and I love this
Mm,
poem.
mm,
Um, go back and read it. Let it resonate with you because we are phenomenal women. It does not matter what we have gone through, what we're going through. We are phenomenal women. Don't you ever allow anybody to make you feel that you are less than. You are everything that God has ordained you to be. Even if you feel like you're not where you want to be, that's okay. We getting there. You
mhm.
know, it's a part of the journey. Every day won't be perfect. Every day won't be a good day, and that's okay. But just always remember, look yourself in the mirror and affirm yourself, and speak life into yourself, and know that you are a phenomenal woman. It does not matter what your status is. It does not matter what
Mm,
your life may look like right now, because what you're going through right now is not going to be the same way every day. We all go through some storms, we all go through things. None of us are not subject to going through things. That's life. Life happens. And just be okay with what you're going through, and it gets greater later. And so before we go, I want to give a challenge to everybody in the chat, everybody on the panel. We're going into a new month. We're going into the month of August. As you know, life is lifing for a lot of people. We going through so much. It's so much going on through in society, and I want us to really learn to appreciate life. Tomorrow is not promised to us. We The things that we go through, it's hard. So I want to challenge each one of you to do something nice for yourself. We're coming up in the month of August. So I want you to commit to doing something nice for yourself. And it can be anything. It does not cost a lot of money to do something for yourself. Doll yourself up and go to brunch with a friend you haven't seen in a while. Take yourself to a dinner or a movie, buy yourself something nice, go on a staycation, check yourself into a local hotel and just get away from your normal environment. Go to the spa and get you a good massage, whatever it is. just commit to doing something for yourself, whether it be you going to buy you a cup of Starbucks and sit in the Starbucks cafe for an hour or two. But just do something good for yourself. We celebrate everybody else all the time, and we always put ourselves on the back burner. And we say, well, I can't do it because I have bills, or I can't, just take yourself to go to the movies on Tuesdays. I know where I live, the movies are $5 on Tuesday. Go to it, find yourself a good movie, or go to the park and just take yourself for a walk and just sit by the water and just smell the roses, look at nature, or do something to where you are disconnecting from everybody else. Leave the children and the grandchildren at home, the spouse, significant other, or whatever. Take yourself out and do something nice for yourself. So I challenge you to do that. For the sometimes in the month of August, just go do something nice and treat yourself. You work hard, you go to work every day and do what you need to do every day. It's okay to treat ourselves, because this money and stuff is going to be here when we dead and gone. We can't take it with us. So just learn how to enjoy life and do something nice for yourself. And I want to also shout out all the content creators in the chat. Thank you so much for joining, everybody in the chat. Thank you for pulling up to the table. I really do appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by and rocking with me. I love you ladies to death. Make sure you like the video if you haven't done so already. Feel free to share it. Shout out to the replay gang that'll be pulling up to the table later. I appreciate you. Make sure you hit the like button when you drop in. Feel free to leave a comment and share the video. I appreciate you. And let's check out next week's table topic. Next week, we are talking about friend or foe, cutting off dead
Girl.
Mm,
or foe, cutting off dead weight.
nice.
That's
Can't
next
wait.
topic. So I
Mama.
am looking forward to it. Again, I appreciate y'all. I learned so much. I obtained so much wisdom to my panel. Girlfriend Chronicles, Sis Chit Chat with QT, Aunt Debbie. Thank y'all so much for joining me on the panel. I appreciate y'all.
Thank
Y'all motivated
you.
me
Thank
so much.
you.
I really do appreciate you. Hey, Austin. Austin said I'll catch the replay. Thank you, sis. Thank you for joining. Yes, please go catch the replay. We had a great conversation. Mama V said chit chat just blessed me with my me time. Yes, absolutely. Do some me time. Do some me time. So
And
thank you.
you are welcome, Mama V. Take lots of pictures. Lots of pictures, please.
Yes, take pictures. We know it's going to be amazing. We know anything that Mel does, she shows up and she shows out. And y'all know pink is my favorite color. So I would have loved to be in the room. But y'all know August is on lock for me. I won't be able to step out and do nothing for myself until August the 31st. So so I'm excited, but it's gonna be busy. Deborah Jackson said, "I love this channel, Pink Diva." Thank you so much, sis. Thank you so
Aw.
much. I appreciate it. I hope you're able to just take something from it. And that's what this channel is all about. It's about us being able to come together and just share wisdom with each other, share our life experiences and best practices. And I hope that everybody was able to find something, some nugget or some gem that was dropped and able to take it back and apply it to your everyday life. I hope you learned something. And until next time, ladies, thank you so much for pulling up to Pink Table Topics. I appreciate me some y'all. I really do appreciate y'all for joining me. And
You're
have a good night,
welcome.
Good
ladies.
Have
night.
a good
Thank
night. Good
you.
night.
Thank
Love
you.
y'all. Love you, Aunt
Love
Love
you,
Debbie.
you.
babe.
Good night.
Love you. Love
All
Good
you.
right. Good
night.
night.
Good night,
Good
Chit
night,
Chat. I'm gonna
ladies.
Good
call
night,
you.
girlfriend. Good night, sis.
Good
Okay. Bye,
night.
y'all.
Good night. Mama V says pink is my favorite color also. Mama V, listen, pink is my favorite color. Good night, ladies. Good night, Tanya. Good night, Austin. Thanks for joining, sis. Good night. Teresa Wright. Good night, sis. I enjoy having you. Indigo Girl. Good night. Have a great one, ladies. Thanks for the wisdom. Thank you, sis, for joining. Thank you all. I appreciate you. See you all next Tuesday. Good night.